Welcome back to Morning Live. Online safety is becoming more important as we navigate an ever-evolving digital world. Margot Denommé, the founder of RAADD, Raising Awareness of Digital Dangers, has a new book out, the Family Smartphone Guide, to help us spark important conversations. And Margot, we were just talking off camera, of course, the idea of kids and smartphones, very complicated, but very important to have these conversations. How did this book come about?
Well, I've worked for a number of years as a Crown attorney, and I started to really be aware of problems that were happening as a result of smartphone use and the dangers of social media being unregulated. So I had the good fortune of doing a presentation with Dr. Michelle Ponte. She is the chair of the Canadian Pediatric Society's Digital Task Force. And together we put together a presentation that was the physical, mental, and legal implications of smartphone use. And it was so well received, and parents and teachers kept saying, where can we get this information?
Yes.
So, and then I came across a quote that basically said, giving your children a smartphone without any boundaries, rules, or directions is the equivalent of giving them the keys to the car without any rules of the road. And that really resonated with me.
And that's, of course, why the book looks just like the driver's ed guide. This is the rules of the road, but the smartphone road.
It's exactly what motivated it to look that way.
Amazing. Okay, and what is some of the advice that we can expect in here?
So, as I said, it breaks down the physical, mental, and legal implications. So physical, let's talk to our children about the why. Why it's important to not have your phone in the bedroom, because it impacts your brain development, and let alone the safety. You know, having your child have the phone in the bedroom, predators have unfettered access to your child. So it discusses things like this, but it also breaks down these types of lessons into bite-sized pieces. The goal is for parents to go through it with their child so that it facilitates the discussion.
That's interesting. You said no phones in the bedroom. I know that not as a child, but as an adult, I struggle to put my phone down before bed. I am stuck scrolling sometimes in that doom scrolling loop. So having any advice that even just, I'm sure, legally speaking is very helpful, but also just for their mental well-being, saying put that phone down.
100%. And it does exactly that. There's a tips about powering down and how you do that, staying focused so that you can study on your school, also the algorithm, so that it's broken down in an understandable way, what an algorithm is. And the way you just said, doom scrolling. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that's the way these big tech companies are making money from us. So it really aims to give that education to people.
Amazing. And I understand even before we get to this book, some of your big advice is delay that smartphone. Tell me about this.
Delay as long as you can, because what the studies are showing is it's just social media and smartphones, it's not helpful for our young people. Let's get back to a play-based childhood. There's a wonderful movement right now in Canada called Unplugged Canada. It's gaining a lot of momentum. Parents are joining together. They're signing pledges that they will not give their child a smartphone before 14. So look into Unplugged Canada. If you have young people, if you feel that fear of missing out is coming along, there's lots of avenues. Or get in touch with me at Raising Awareness about Digital Dangers, because that's what we're doing. We are there to provide support to parents.
Amazing. I understand you speak at schools as well.
I do. I speak at schools, community groups. We need to get the word out there. Terrific series now on Netflix called Adolescence that's really going to drive home to parents how important it is to keep these phones out of the bedroom and keep our kids in the common area of our homes.
Of course, we have around a minute left. I want to know one more good piece of advice for parents about introducing smartphones to your kids.
Once you delay, there's nothing like graduate into a smartphone. Flip phones are very common. Pinwheel has just come to Canada. There are alternatives to smartphone and social media. If you need to get in touch with your child, use a flip phone. Text them. Get them used to being able to call. I understand how difficult it is to facilitate pickups and everything else, but a flip phone is a good step. and have a common computer on the kitchen table so that you can teach about online predators, what red flags look like.
Yeah, I'm sure just having those conversations out in the open and not hidden away in the bedroom where you don't really know what's going on. Well, thank you so much, Margot. The book can be found on Amazon.ca. And of course, like we said, Margot does speak at schools. So if you're interested in this, you can find all of her information up on our website, chch.com/morninglive.